giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by the Cochran Firm and Boston Scientific, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. And of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! It's Friday, baby. I love Fridays, man. Yeah, it's a Friday coming off an L, but hey, it is what it is, man. I got 3 keys to victory in this swing game. Been talking about it all week, man. This is a swing game, and I think if the Cowboys take care of business in these departments, we should walk out here with the victory. But within those keys, we got a disturbing, I don't say trend, but this aspect of the Cowboys team needs a change. It needs to get better, and I think I got a reason as to why it hasn't been as good. So we'll talk about that. Plus, in the roundup, our division rivals once again make another move. Will it mean anything? Maybe, maybe not. But we'll dive into that a little bit in the roundup. Plus, some injury updates for you guys this morning. Shout out to the Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad!
Somebody already called in 704, so hold tight, man. At least let me get through my first key to the victory, and then we'll jump into the phone lines, if you will. We're not going to be long today. It's Friday, you know. I don't want to keep y'all too long. Y'all probably chilling at work or chilling at the crib if you work from home or in the office, on the road, in your truck, whatever. I'll try to have a good show, solid show, smooth show, but I won't keep y'all too long, man. It's Friday. I got things to do, right? You probably just got paid and you want to do some things. So I'll make sure it's an entertaining one and a fun one, Cowboys Nation. So let's do this thing, man. Let's do this thing and get into the roundup.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time!
Time.
It's time! It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Hey! Yo. So the Dominican Sue decided to join the Eagles, huh? All right. That's cool. No, but seriously, the Eagles got ran all over on Monday. This past Monday by the Washington football people, ended their undefeated bid, sending them to 8-1 at home, losing to Heineke. And the Washington football people ran the ball like 50 times. Now, 45 times with their running backs. And it wasn't like it was always these great numbers, but they didn't care. They said, you're not going to stop us from being ahead of the chains here, so we're just going to keep doing it. Howie said, enough of that nonsense. I'm doing something. Listen, Dominican Sue, Linval Joseph were both signed in back-to-back days. Will they do anything? Probably not. Maybe they will. Who knows? But as much as I hate to give credit to my rival, especially that team, I always walk away like, man, it'd be nice to have a Howie Roseman on this team. You know? I do admire their non-stop ability. I do admire their aggressiveness. And I do admire their willingness to keep trying, whether in free agency, trades, whatever, just to keep trying. And it's resulted in, obviously, that Super Bowl in 2017. And I'll just leave it at that. But Ndamukong Suh, he signs with Philly after Linval Joseph signs with them the day before. Older veterans, Grizzly veterans. Suh had a decent year last year for the Bucs, but decided to sit most of this season out. Yeah, 6 sacks, I think, last year for them. But they're trying stuff. They're throwing everything at the wall, man. And they probably won't get back Jordan Davis until towards the end of the season. So that's really their biggest addition. But now they've got Suh, Joseph, and Robert Quinn. 3 older guys that do different things And we'll see if it works out. I call these things missionary type of signings, hitmen type of signings. Guys that you're not, listen, we don't need you here for a long time, just a good time. We don't need you here to play 30, 50 snaps. We just need you here to make 2 to 3 plays in the most important times that we need them to be made. So we'll see what happens. Zeke spoke with the media yesterday, and it sounds like, barring some type of setback, that he will be returning. This is what he said. He said, I'm definitely very optimistic about this week, barring any setbacks. The next couple days, I think I feel good. I felt as good as I felt since the injury this early in the week. I think I'm in a good spot. Sounds like he's not 100%, but he's good enough to play, and he think he can be, an asset out there on the field. And so does Zach Martin. Zach Martin spoke about, what Zeke means to this team, what he is to this team. And this was a pretty cool quote. He said, when I think of Zeke, I think of the identity of our football team, kind of wrapped into a player. Just his willingness to do anything asked of him, his physical style of play. He brings all of that to our football team. It rubs off on guys. So Zach will be excited to get Zeke back. That physical presence that he admires from Zeke would obviously be there, but only if he's healthy, man. We don't really want to have a non-healthy Ezekiel Elliott out there. Healthy, yes, welcome him back, and I personally think attack teams with 3 guys, not just 2. But we're struggling right now to figure out how to not struggling. I shouldn't say struggling. We're still trying to figure out how to get both of these guys involved at a healthy rate. So asking for 3 might be too much. But Zeke looks to return. Also, Anthony Brown looks to return. I know a lot of y'all are like,
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
but Anthony Brown might be playing, man. He talked about him having a concussion, I don't know if it was last year, a couple years ago, whenever it was. And he said it was similar to this, and he played the next week. So I know Bobby Belt came on and said if they're talking to the media, that means the concussion is not as bad and likely to play. So AB will be back, and Zeke will be back. Don't know about Anthony Barr. Didn't hear much about that. And then DeMarcus Lawrence, who we know he's been dealing with some injuries. But, man, he had some quotes yesterday that made me say, what the hell? He said, I got a little foot injury with both feet, actually. My knees as well. It's just all about trying to maintain what I have, but also take care of me throughout this week so I can be fresh to go out on Sunday and do what I need to do. Then he talked about these injuries connecting. He said, yeah, it does connect with last year's injury. I just think over the course of the season, just all of the banging and stuff, I might have fractured it a little bit more. Whoa, wait a minute. Wait. He said, I'll be all right. I got screws in it, so it's just hard to say if it's fractured or not. Yesterday, when we talked about the Takk McKinley signing, we were like, okay, but why? You got a bunch of defensive ends, and then same thing yesterday. DeMarcus Lawrence popped up on the injury report and it said foot. So I was like, well, maybe it's, maybe they're worried about DeMarcus Lawrence, just kind of tongue in cheek. But then when DeMarcus Lawrence comes out and says, yeah, I'm hurting, dog. My body different, A. I feel different, B. My foot just got shot, A. Everybody dealing with injuries, B. Come on, man. That's what DeMarcus Lawrence is saying. Everybody is dealing with injuries, so he's just fighting through it. But, he's clearly messed up, and I think that's why they signed Takk. They wanted to have another body just in case they need to sit down DeMarcus Lawrence moving forward. So, he's banged up, though, man. He's banged up, and I don't like it. The reason why I don't like it is because he's the best Cowboys run defender. And we know that's the Achilles heel of this Cowboys defense is this run defense. And, you lose him for that backside stuff because they won't run at DeMarcus Lawrence that much. But if you lose him, obviously your run defense gets worse unless schematically clean things up. assignment wise, you clean things up. But even if you clean things up assignment wise, that guy right there means a whole lot to your run defense, man. So that would suck. But I think that's why they brought in Tack McKinley. I think that's why they brought in Tack. Now we got 2 callers on the line. Hold tight, callers. Let me at least get through the first key to the game. So hold tight. I'm gonna get into the chat and we'll get to the keys again. Want me to grab the belly? I'm writing that down, Special K. I got you. All right. Somebody says start Sam Williams. Probably would. Basham just got back. They probably would start Sam Williams in his absence. Yeah. What's the status of Basham, says Chris? He got his first action last week, so he's back. He's good to go. A broken bone affects your whole body. I mean, yeah, his whole lower body is being affected for sure. For sure. Toxic said I'm hurt too. Boy, Toxic, you one of the most hurt people I ever seen in my life, dog. Put in Armstrong. Armstrong is in. He's in, bro. He's on the other side of DeMarcus Lawrence, man. Special K, this is interesting. Somebody asked this question to Jesse and I last week, about the draft and everything. And I'm just so focused on week to week and whatnot. But you say here, all right, we need to start looking at defensive end in the draft. One could argue Sam Williams, right? But you can never have enough rushers. That's for damn sure. Should we play Kelvin more on rundowns? Vaj had an interesting, I don't know if it was a fan or who asked this, but they said, should we move Trayvon to the other side on DeMarcus Lawrence's side because teams are running DeMarcus Lawrence and then have guys like the opposite corner fill in. Anthony Brown, and he's missing a ton of tackles this year and run support, whatever. Kelvin Joseph is a physical corner. Deron Bland is also a physical corner. Maybe Kelvin Joseph getting physical in the run game will get his confidence going from a coverage standpoint. It works that way sometimes. So do you play him on rundowns? I don't think that's how it really works, Chris. But you're going to play the corner that they believe in the most, and right now it's Anthony Brown, which I should. That's that damn bud. All right, let's get to let's get to one key, then we'll hit the phone lines very quick. So, first key to the game is something we have been talking about in this Minnesota Viking game when we previewed their offense yesterday. And I listened to Mike McCarthy talk this morning on 105.3 The Fan, and I think we might see this. So here's key number 1, Cowboys name. Diggs, in my opinion, must travel on Justin Jefferson. Mike McCarthy came on 105.3 The Fan today and talked about what makes Diggs special. I mean, I don't think this is what makes Diggs special or makes Diggs different or whatever, but he brought this up and I thought it was interesting. He talked about how, Justin Jefferson could be everywhere. And, I think RJ and them asked him, what about this matchup makes it an interesting matchup, fun matchup? And, Diggs played well against him last year, 1 reception, 3 yards on Diggs when he was targeted. And it was like, his ability to move around, his ability to go inside. I thought he doesn't go inside much. He doesn't go inside much. And hasn't been doing it this year. And for him to say that on the radio, I'm like, he's traveling, ain't he? Good. Because Justin Jefferson's 2 worst games this year have come against very similar stylistic cornerbacks. And Darius Slay and Jeff Okudah, longer-ish guys, can be physical at the catch point. Darius and Trayvon, from a mental standpoint, are similar. They're smart cornerbacks. But Trayvon is the best ball guy of them all. So I'm not leaving it up to chance. AB, Deron Bland, Kelvin Joseph. I'm not doing it. Because if you can muffle Jefferson, I think you muffle their pass offense. And that's with all due respect to Adam Thielen. But if Thielen going to beat me, Thielen, you just going to have to beat me. TJ Hockenson going to beat me, you just going to have to beat me. But Jefferson is going to get targeted and targeted often and targeted with guys draped on him. It doesn't matter. He's third in the NFL in contested targets, which means Cousins is going to throw to him no matter what. And I'd much rather have Diggs sniffing around those contested throws than Anthony Brown, Kelvin Joseph, or Deron Bland. Plus, and I know AB played against him. Kelvin Joseph hasn't played against him yet. Deron Bland hasn't played against him. Diggs has played against him in college. Yeah, he might have lost that one. But he played against him last year. And he's had success. So I'm moving Trayvon Diggs wherever he goes. That's my man. We come out that huddle. There was a play, I think, in the Packer game where I think Diggs wanted to pick up a said player because he saw what was about to happen, but they couldn't make it happen in time, and I think they converted a first down. So I think Diggs is getting to that point now where Al Harris should go to him. What you think we should do this week? Not what they should do. With me and you. What are you comfortable with? You comfortable with traveling with this man? When they do this, do you want to switch sides? I think he's earning that respect to me, man. You know why I think he's earning that respect? Look how teams are treated. They're not even going after this dude. I'm not going after him. He's had one game where, and it's an outlier this year, where you could be like, all right, man, it's a bad game, right? Because there was that long throw against the Rams that really was a cover 3. That was a blown assignment, in my opinion, by Hooker, but also that drag route that went for 75 yards. Aside from that game, and the other, what are we at, 9 games? 8 games, teams are averaging 9 yards per reception on him. 1 touchdown in week 1. So I think he's earned that respect and that cachet to say, hey, let me get this man. Because if Jefferson has a 10-catch, 193-yard game against Dallas, you're not winning this game. You're not winning this game, Cowboys Nation. So that's my first one. Not number 1, but my first one of the 3 that I got for you. So appreciate y'all for holding tight there on the Pulse of the Nation hotline presented by the Cochran Firm. Since 2005, Larry and Brian down at the Cochran Firm have been protecting and serving the DFW area community, whether it be personal injury, wrongful death, fraud, truck, automobile, whatever. And Dallas is a lot of automobile accidents. Whatever it may be, hit those guys up. They will help you see through it. In addition, all their civil cases are handled on a contingent fee basis, meaning if there is no financial recovery, they will charge no fee. So contact them today at 1-800-THE-FIRM or schedule your free consultation at CochranTexas.com. 704, you've been on hold. What's goody?
What's up, Mr. Steele? It's your boy out at 704, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte, North Carolina. What's up, man?
What's up, brother? Hey, I wanted to first say, man, I appreciate you for letting me speak my piece, and even though we might disagree sometimes, you still let me get my point out.
Oh, 100%.
And
always,
I appreciate
bro.
you for letting me call into your show. I appreciate it, brother. But I was going to see if you've seen Kurt Warner breakdown on Prescott.
Yeah, we talked about that, I think Tuesday, Wednesday, and a little bit yesterday. Yep. It actually was a breakdown.
Okay.
It was a breakdown on the Cowboys offense, but whatever.
Offense, facts, yeah. But yeah. And I feel like we got Prescott. He can do everything. It's just sometimes he has the lapse. I remember one time we had CD in the red zone breaking. Like he had a chance to throw a touchdown, but he was out of his play action fake too late. Like it was like should have been a 5-step drop, and it was like 7 or 8. And I just want him to be sharp. Go ahead, Still. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're talking about the what Kurt Warner was talking about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I was meaning by when I said anticipation. I'm saying when I mean say anticipation, I'm meaning when you go up to the line of scrimmage and you see the defense, you should be anticipating what players should be headed. Not saying you should know, but you're anticipating it anyways before you even make a throw.
Okay.
And so you guys,
Huh?
I don't know if that made any sense to you guys still.
Yeah, I'm not really quite following, but go ahead.
What I mean is when you go to the line of scrimmage and you're NFL quarterback, and you read the defense. Don't you kind of figure out, all right, this player might drop right here in coverage, the safety might blitz. I mean, that's what you're seeing, preset, right? So you should kind of know where your ball is going to go, right?
Sure. What's your point?
What I mean is that's why I feel like Prescott is sometimes you'll see him do it great, and then other times you'll see him like he misses a lot. Like he's especially on that play that's he's trying to force in the shoulders.
Like normal quarterback things, man. What you're saying is nothing out of the ordinary, man. And that's not called anticipation. That's pre-snap reading. When words are used with anticipation with Dak Prescott, it's about anticipation throws. You're talking about getting to the line of scrimmage and reading a defense. I mean, he does that. But I don't get you. He doesn't.
What I'm saying is, I think we're confusing. What I'm saying when I say anticipation, I mean more accurate throws. When I mean anticipating throws, I'm saying like if the safety dive down on two of my players, I can't throw that throw, even though the coach is telling me to throw that throw. I think I got to go somewhere else. I mean,
bro.
The bad thing in the red zone. Sorry, Stu.
I just think your words are wrong here. I don't. If a safety, of course, if the safety is driving on a ball, you don't throw, but they don't drive on it until you throw it. That's the point. Like we've won over the interceptions ad nauseum, man. Your receivers, hold on. Your receivers, your coaches, your tight ends, they all have admitted they ran the wrong routes in that situation. I am over these interceptions because we know the cost of these interceptions. But if we want to talk about the other things that went on in the game in regards to Dak Prescott, that's fine. But if we're going to stick on these situations, by all means, go ahead, brother. I'll let you talk about that, and then we can move forward.
No, Will. I'm not even saying just interception. I'm saying like even on a throw to Prescott. I mean, the throw to CD for the touchdown where the ball was a little late. I mean, I'm thinking the read was already going there. The ball was late. I mean, we saw the defender coming. You know where the ball was going, and it was late. CD, luckily, we were playing on grass instead of turf, and CD was able to make them miss.
So you're talking about all right, man. Yep. He's got to be better when he throws a touchdown pass. Absolutely correct.
I mean, I'm not. I'm just saying. And at the end of the day, still, I'm just like, I'm a Cowboy fan. I don't care if Dak go for 100 yards if we win. Yeah. I'm not hating on Prescott. But I appreciate you.
I'm not saying you are, brother. I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you are. Appreciate you, man.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Let's get this Vance. What's goody?
What's going on, Will?
What's up, man?
Not much. I had to wait a few days. I would have called Monday, but in case Grayson was listening, I didn't want to do that much cussing. So I needed like an entire week to calm down after that game. Right. So let me dive into it. I got a couple things. I'll try to be quick about it. Yeah. First of all, we all know about the second half. We had the lead, 18-6, pass to run. My thing with that is that's just really bad coaching. A JV high school coach at Joe Schmo's school knows better than that. So you're either that inept or you did it on purpose. Either way, when Marcus Spears called it a fireable offense, I fully agree with him. I don't know how you can be a coach in the NFL and do that as an OC. So I am so livid with – I usually defend the Joneses. Them having him there, indefensible. I'm pissed at the Joneses. I got beef with the Joneses and Kellen Moore right now because of Kellen Moore.
Gotcha.
The run defense, I got to say, I'm sorry. I think that's who we were all year. I found myself in the Eagles game and a couple other games praying that they would throw the ball because I knew if they ran, we probably wouldn't be able to stop them. And so when I hear all these people like clamoring for wide receivers for $20 million, how about another nose tackle or a Mike linebacker maybe? You know, something we actually need.
Well, to be fair,
that would be sweet.
To be fair, Shavance, we were clamoring for a linebacker, right? We were clamoring for that for weeks. We were clamoring for a nose tackle, and they got one in Jonathan Hankins. So I think Cowboys Nation was spot on about what this team needed, and wide receiver is still part of that, but also linebacker was. We just didn't get it. We didn't get either of them. So we were clamoring for it. At least on this show, we were.
Now, another part of the run pass, I always notice, I think Dak does better when he throws less, like 16 to 26 throws.
Well,
because we're running that much.
16, well, nobody's throwing 16, but I agree with you.
Yeah, we can go as low as 16, as low as that would be bottom of the barrel, crazy low. That's 4 passes a quarter. That's crazy.
Right. This is the NFL 2022.
No, honestly, there's teams. We have the guys. There's teams we could do that against and crush them with the run. There's teams we could do that to. But anyway, my point is, Rodgers was struggling all year. And imagine my spot. See, I don't pay attention to rookies. I don't pay attention to the draft picks unless they're in the division. I was introduced to Christian Watson Sunday night. I'm like, oh, how wonderful. A guy comes off injury and he was some superstar rookie I never heard of and absolutely destroys us. That's great.
Yeah.
But a big part of his yards, of Rodgers' yards, was because the run was, they had over 200 yards rushing. Every time we do a good job rushing, Dak looks like a superstar. And that's what your running game gives you. That's what it gave to Rodgers. That's why Rodgers looked like Rodgers instead of trash like he did the rest of the year, because they ran the ball all over us. If we were running as much as them, I think Dak would have had a better game.
Well,
so that's just another reason why I'm upset with the OC there. But and another thing, I think
in closing, brother, in closing.
Our third string running back, who is that?
Malik Davis.
What's his name? Yes, that dude. He can run the ball. There's no reason not to run the ball, whether Zeke's not in or not, because that dude can run.
Yes, he can.
But that's it in closing. Just extremely frustrated with the OC and what he did. Yeah,
all right, man. Appreciate you, Vince. I forgot he wasn't here on Monday when we dove into a lot of that. Jump out the plane. Let's keep moving. B-Bird, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Scott? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Getting ready for this weekend.
Yeah. So one thing I want to say, man, is that I've been watching the Cowboys for a while now, and I have a buddy of mine he really does not like Dak Prescott. And so when we're in this text chain with me and some other Cowboy fans, whatever, and I'm kind of defending them, I'm sending out like videos of, hey, look at what these people say, look what that person says, and this, that, and other. Yeah. And he's sending back like, well, this is what I feel. I say, man, facts are not feelings.
Brother.
And what I mean by that is we've been around for a long time. I'm talking about me. But with the technology has evolved. What I'm trying to say is now, man, we got the all 22. We have YouTubers and, you have quarterbacks that break things down. We have things now. So before we saw an interception like we've seen with Dak Prescott in the last couple of weeks, we can be like, oh, that's a terrible quarterback. But now we know because we got more information, okay, why did this happen? How did this happen? What happened with the context of the interceptions now. It for us to be uninformed on these things right now, it's on us right now. The information is out there to get. We're just not going to get it. And so we have these opinions, and they're kind of archaic opinions of things because we have the information to go get clarity on them. We just refuse to go do it.
Or we'll see something and we'll take away something completely different from that, and then ignore the rest. But I am tired out with the battle. Y'all know where I stand on this situation. Finish. I truly don't care what happens in between. Finish, because most of these games are going to come down to finishing.
That's correct. One thing I would say too, man, is them getting sued. It's a great move for them, and I think you agree with it too. And I'll say this one more time. I know I said it before. My daughter plays softball. She was 10 years old. Only time I ever got onto her is when I could tell she was nervous at the plate. It was 3 balls, 2 strikes, and she just left the bat on her shoulder. And I got onto her and I said, "Look, Madison," I said, "Hey, I don't care if you strike out swinging." I said, "But we're going to be aggressive at that point in time." And I would tell you that now, she's the best 2-strike hitter on our team. Why? Because she's aggressive at that moment. I just didn't want her standing to the side, letting the pitcher and the umpire making that call for her. No, you got the bat in your hand, you go after it. What I'm trying to say is that I don't mind her swinging. I don't mind her being unsuccessful swinging it, but just swing it. And
Right.
what I mean by that is that the Eagles are swinging the bat. Like somebody might say, "Well, this ain't going to work out." So what if it doesn't? They're trying, man. They're trying to win a championship. And so I don't care, if it works out or not. The results don't tell me if it's a good decision or not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't wait on results to tell me that. The decision, I'll judge the decision while I'm making it, or before I make it, and then I don't care what the results are, good or bad. I still stand by the decision I made with the information I had at the time. Now, one thing I can tell you too is if it does work out, guess what they did? They helped their running game by taking one of the run stoppers off the market for Dallas. So that in hand right there is enough just to get this guy off. Look, Dallas is struggling in their run game. Who's out there? They could get Ndamukong Suh. Oh, our running game ain't that good either. How about we sign him? And so I think that could be part of it also, man. But I just, you got to kind of tip your hat to people that are trying. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, as long as you're trying, as long as I feel like, hey, man, they're going after this. I'm not going to have anything to say to you in the offseason about, well, look at that Suh pickup. That didn't work out. Man, look here, they tried. They didn't just sit on their hands. They got out there and they actually tried to make this thing work and prove to us that they're actually going for a championship. And then, Scott, I'm gonna get off this line and let somebody else talk, man. I just wanted to get that point out to you, brother.
I feel you, B-Bird. Appreciate you, man. And that's echoing what I was talking about in the roundup. Like, this may not work, but it's not about the result. I think it's about the attempt. And that's all I think most Cowboy fans are asking for is to make those constant attempts when you see a shot, right? When you see a possibility to do something special. But I mean, I guess maybe their attempt was Takk McKinley, and obviously they did get Jonathan Hankins. And I don't want to try to compare it to Dallas too much because they did go out and get Hank, and they tried to make trades for the receivers. But Howie is a different type of general manager, dude. Like, my man really about to have a top 5 pick next year. And he's going to finish probably with the number 1 record in the NFC. It's crazy, man. Let's get to my second key to the game. And that's setting the edges, man. The Cowboys players have come out all week and talk about the run game. Specifically on the edge. Micah Parsons spoke about it at length. He said, quote, "I'm going to just buckle up my helmet. I'm going to set the edges and ball out. If they want to drop back, then they can send me to that too." Another quote, "We have to trust each other. Trust is going to be the key to everything where we want to go. You have to trust that someone's going to be in the B gap when they're supposed to be in the B gap. Trust that someone's going to come in the A gap when they're supposed to be in the A gap. And trust that someone will hold the edge." Even more so this week because Dalvin Cook is having just a ball running on the edges in this Minnesota Vikings offense right now. And the Vikings historically have always been, a wide zone type of team. But when they're getting outside the tackles with Dalvin Cook, man, he's got 59 attempts out there, whether it be left or right. 59. And I'm talking about outside the tackles. I'm not even just talking about like off the tackles. But outside the tackles. 306 yards, 20 first downs, and he's averaging 5 yards per carry. Once again, I'm the meme. Once again, I'm asking for the Dallas Cowboys to set the edges. I'm asking for these cornerbacks to fill, these safeties to fill, these defensive ends, these linebackers all to be in their gaps and be in their assignments. If you don't do that this week, with the weapons and the ability that they have to play action, which as much as we can poo-poo on Kirk Cousins, for a while now in this Minnesota offense, they do a play action so well, or the boot so well. They bring, like I told y'all yesterday, they'll bring Jefferson high, they'll have a guy come middle late, and they'll have Hockenson underneath, and they'll just bink, bink, bink right down the field. And now they used to do a play. I haven't seen them. Well, maybe they have. I don't know. Shaq could tell me. They used to have this play where they would boot, and it's a hard boot too. And they'll have Kirk Cousins roll out hard one way, and they'll sneak a guy, and they'll throw it on the whole other side of the field. You don't normally see that with the boot. Normally a boot, you're going to throw half that field. He's throwing on the other side of half of the field. So still got to be wary of that if they even have that in their playbook anymore. But if you set these edges, if you remain disciplined even with the boots against the run, you force them to be more traditional in how they run. You force them to be more traditional in how they pass. So got to set these edges, man. If not, we could be in for another long day like the Cowboys had against the Packers. Howie is that Negan. I can't help. I can't hate. Can't stand him, man. Can't stand him. Let's get back into these horns. Matter of fact, let's do that first. CG, what's goody?
What's going on?
What's up, man?
How you doing today? You good?
I'm good. It's Friday. Like I said, I'm ready to start this weekend.
Listen, I feel you or not. So I'm gonna get my point out and then get out your way and slide to the side. But I definitely agree with you, right? Trey has to follow Jefferson. If he does not follow Jefferson, we are in trouble. Everybody else got killed by Watson. We're talking Watson versus Jefferson. And like you and Vought said, Watson probably going to score another 3 touchdowns in a year and a half. So just imagine what Jefferson would do if we do not let Trey follow him.
Right.
And then setting the edge. I believe it's more assignment than it is guys, right? Like they have to do their assignment, but the alignment has to make sense. You can't make the assignment harder if the alignment doesn't make sense. If we are going against an unbalance, we should, instead of trying to attack the imbalance with stunts, why don't they just slide the defense over?
Yeah. I noticed that a few times too, man, where it was like, well, where's the communication and kind of like, now if it's 2 tight ends set and it's even, then you got to kind of guess correctly or see where the back's at or where your numbers are with the wide receivers. Maybe that would be a hint. But if it's unbalanced, like I said, I saw a play where I don't think we actually had the right pre-snap set or right alignment, and it resulted in a pretty decent gain. And the next play was game over.
Game over. That was I think that was like the play before Watson's first touchdown. They had
no. This was an overtime I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they did that too earlier in the game. That's why they knew they can go back to it. And the issue is if you just slide Dorrance over, if I have 2 tight ends right there in front of me and I know I have the outside containment, my outside shoulder has to be free. If my outside shoulder isn't free, there's no way I'm going to have outside containment. No way I'm going to get it. No way I'm going to win it. So then it makes it easier for them to block the outside and then come and get the first defensive end. And then you have a heavier dude coming across. And we all know Leighton is going to be late to the play. And so that heavier dude then is running in front of Leighton. And then at that point, it lights out, game over. So I believe to set the edge, like you said, is the key to the game, is just making sure that, okay, if it's an imbalanced set, slide the defensive line over. And the only issue with that is Cook is definitely going to look for that cutback. And if he has that cutback lane, it's lights out there too. So
that's where the responsibilities come in, being where you need to be from a linebacker standpoint, filling from a safety standpoint. So it could be done. I mean, he had a really good run and a few good runs that we could look at him right here. Let me see if I got it. He had some good runs against the Bills, and I don't have all the ones where he wasn't good, but it wasn't like he just teed off on the Bills. But the one run was huge, so you do got to be prepared.
Right. Yeah. You have to be prepared for it. But last point, and I'll get out your way. Sure. I just feel like what is going to help us is to be more efficient on offense and then let your athletic linebackers on the field. Because, if you want to stop the run, if the assignment is off, playing fast and having athletes is the one thing that can overcome that. And then efficient on offense is third downs. If we move the ball on third down, hold tight,
brother. I got you.
You got me?
I got you, man. Appreciate you, CG.
I got you. All right, now.
CG taking over the show, man. Taking over the show. I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into the third key since CG wanted to get to it, man. Here's key number 3. Here's key number 3, man. We got to convert the third downs. What a segue there. What a segue. This trend right here, man. I don't even call it a trend, but this aspect of the Cowboys game has been frustrating to say the least. And not Cowboys like. Not Cowboys like. They must convert on third down. And I think the combination of them not being able to convert at a high level on third down with not being able to stop the run is the reason why you're seeing this lopsided time of possession situation. Yeah, we've been winning some games without winning the time of possession, sure, but I'd much rather win it and have this defense that's supposed to be a good defense, be as fresh as possible. But right now, they're currently 25th in the NFL on third downs, and their saving grace, statistically for not being worse was the Bears game where they were like 82% on third down. So, if you look at the last 3 games, it might be like, oh, they're 48%, Scott. Well, they only 48% because of that Bears game. Other than that, they converted like 33% of their third downs. And, this has been the case all year with or without Dak Prescott. Third downs have not been good. And I got to wonder, is not having a guy like Amari Cooper affecting this team on third downs? I don't mean to go back. I'm not trying to go back, but just knowing that a guy like Amari Cooper, who can make himself available right away, who 9 times out of 10 was where he was supposed to be, who can get open without needing the scheme to get him open, who, if he wasn't being the guy they're going to on third downs, he could affect how defenses were playing him to help other guys on third downs. And when you go look at how the Cowboys have performed under Dak Prescott on third down statistically throughout his career, you have to wonder if Amari Cooper is a reason. At least with this coordinator and quarterback. But historically speaking, the Cowboys have pretty much been a top 10 unit on third down. Last year, they were 10th. 2019, they were 2nd. 2018, they were 15th, but they were way higher than that once they got Coop. 2017, 6th. 2016, 9th. A top 10 group. Now, all of a sudden, 25th? I mean, I don't know. I don't have the answer to why they are not converting, why all of a sudden Dak Prescott hasn't been good on these third downs, or as good as he's been on these third downs. But I just wonder if it's not having that kind of reliable route runner to go to. So, okay, Sky, we're not going to get Cooper back. We're not going to add anybody at this moment to help you in that manner. So how do you get better on third down? I think Dak and Kellen, the way to fix this, I don't think it's going to be personnel-wise. I think it's going to be schematic. I think they need to sit down. And they need to say, hey, man, listen, we need money plays. What do you mean by money plays? I mean plays that we know will work. I mean, if it's not going to work, it's going to have to come from some type of penalty, right? Some type of drop, bad throw, whatever. But we need plays that are easy on a cue, easy on a receiver, easy on the line, easy on the back, whomever it may be. Easy money plays on these third downs. Are some of these third downs choice routes? I don't know. Maybe they are. Is the answer to go just to Dalton Schultz on third downs? Maybe, but I'd imagine the team would be like, hey, we know Schultz is your guy, so we'll just take that away. But I don't think the answer is going to be from a personnel addition or a specific player. I think it's going to have to come schematically. So they need to get in the lab and they need to figure it out. There should be a third down sheet and there should be about 5-6 plays when they're like, these are the ones we know have worked most of the time, will work through hell or high water. Because if you don't convert on third downs, Cowboys Nation, and you continue to lose time of possession, and then you're also having issues running the ball, y'all know I ain't trying to talk about playoffs at this moment, but if you get to the playoffs, you can forget about it. This can't keep happening. Don't know too many playoff teams that are just going to skate through the playoffs as one of the worst third down conversion teams. Y'all tell me. Figure this out. You don't go from 10th, 2nd, 6th, 9th, all of a sudden to 25th. Without a massive reason, and then if you know the reason, you got to adapt and adjust to that. But it is a full-blown issue. We're 9 games into the season, and you've had one game where you've converted at a decent rate, at a good rate, I should say. One. Can't have it. Shaq said, playoffs, I'm hoping we can win a game. You talking about for your Vikings. Your Vikings will probably go, man. Your Vikings will probably, I mean, they 8-1 right now. If y'all don't go to playoffs at 8-1, oh boy. All right, that's my rant on the third downs. It was frustrating. You know, we had brought this up under Coop, and we brought this up when the Cowboys kind of got back on track third down wise against the Bears, but then they went, boom, right back to how they've been performing all year. So it's been an issue all year, man. All right, we got Nacho, and we got some numbers I don't quite remember. Nacho, what's goody?
Good Friday, my man. Good Friday. Listen, to your point, that's been my thing with Kellen Moore and this offense and the continued inconsistencies of it. And absolutely, I can see where we've digressed in terms of who we were as an offense and what looked like a promising offense under a young Kellen Moore, and not having Amari Cooper there without a doubt, 110% has to affect this offense, not having that true route running number one receiver. And without a doubt has been a concern. And as we move forward, sure, we're watching the I've always said the Eagles and the 49ers organizations, those two predominantly, I'd like to think, tell me if you agree or not, that they have been the two organizations that have been the most aggressive when it comes to, kind of all the chips on the table and just going and grabbing who they want, what they need, and all that. And, and they've put themselves in position, obviously, to make a run at a championship. I'm hoping that, hey, if there is still that possibility here in the next couple of weeks or towards the end of the month, whether we can go get an OBJ that we've talked about, whatever's got to be done, something's got to be done. And I'd like to think it starts this Sunday. If what we're hearing and listening from the locker room, and I think when I called you last time, I don't know if I know it was kind of quick and short, but I was trying to make a point. I don't know if you completely understood me or not. Trayvon Diggs said that loss to the Packers happened for them, meaning what I'm taking from it is now you're seeing it's bouncing off of with the players of holding each other accountable. They're talking about the trust and this and that. I'm just hoping that loss that they should have won in Green Bay is going to be what kind of puts this team
like a catalyst,
mentally, schematically. Yes.
Yeah, you're hoping it sparks something in them. One of those losses that, I don't want to say changes your season, because usually a win does that, but you can be humbled and get back to the basics and whatnot. So I think I understand what you're trying to say.
Yes. So what do you think of that? I mean, I think that's what we're at. And this line is very interesting. How could an 8-1 team be an underdog at home?
Yeah,
Something's in the makings here.
I don't understand. I mean, I don't.
In the making.
I'm not a betting man, and we did talk about their offense and their defense, and if they're looking at just like statistically, they're technically a middling team statistically from DVOA standpoint, from offense defense standpoint, but they do certain things at a high level. So I wonder if they're just looking at it from a statistical standpoint. But to go on the road against the 8-1 team who's on a roll right now and be up and be favored that was a shocker to me. I'm not a betting man though, so maybe they're just trying to get people to bet on the Cowboys, or I don't know how that works. But I thought that was interesting.
Sky, I'm gonna leave you with this point. If we're going to focus on setting the edge, and if we can put Diggs on Jefferson, and Brown hopefully coming back. Now, if we can do that and go to this game, with a little chip on our shoulder, kind of like a little pissed off, if you will, that line tells me Dallas is going to go in there, and I'm going to make a bold prediction. We're going to go in there. We're going to win this game.
All right, man. Sounds good, Nacho. Thank you, man.
Way. All right, my man. All right. You have a good one. Bye-bye.
Boy. Took a while. 972. There you go. What's good?
What's going on with you? Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing, man?
I'm all right.
I really think. Oh, by the way, I'm Lauren. I'll be in the chat box here and there some of the time, But I really just want to say, like, for all the fans, because they so hard pressed on these points of like killing Dak for stuff like we was just going to NFC Championship every year with Tony, and we fell off when Dak got here or something like that. Maybe he should publicly apologize for being the first quarterback to ever throw an interception or lose a game or something like that. Because, I mean, they hold up the standards, and then they say, oh, well, he can't close. As if Tony closed every game. Like, we watched that dude throw 5 picks in one game, and I don't understand, but
hey, L, what do we need, L? What do we need? Go ahead.
I have no idea. But I really just want to say, like, well, to a point Nacho just made about, like, the defense. Hopefully, I don't think they need to play angry, but just if you look at the fact that we gave up over 200 yards back-to-back games, especially like this last game, and then see what Tennessee did to Green Bay last night, holding to like about a fourth of that, like they should be like, bro, we could do that, like why can't we do teams like that? Like they treated them like the 3-win team that they was, and just put them back in their place, but we let them off the hook a lot of times. So
we're gonna find out real quick. When we play Tennessee, I've been following them because they're our parent company over there, A to Z Sports Nashville. Shout out to our guys. We're going to find out real quick. They are built differently than Dallas when it comes to the run game. They are built to stop the run. So,
For sure. Yeah, they seem like they got a solid system. But I was just upset. I was like, 207 and then 56. But either way, that's really all I had, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for being a staple in the mornings for us.
Oh, man. I appreciate y'all for being here. Y'all stapled just along with me, man. Thanks, bro.
For sure, man.
Yeah, that Titans defense, man. And we'll get to them, week 15 or something like that, 16, 17, whatever it is. Or 16, I think it is. That's a good defense. They play the run well. They're a physical team. Remember how we talked about earlier? I was naming all these teams that know who they are, identity and all that stuff. Titans are one of them. Titans know who they are, offensively, defensively, and they play to it on both for both sides of the ball. It's another team. Let's get to 404 then 267, and we out of here. What's up, 404?
Hey, how you doing? So I have a thesis about the Dallas Cowboys. The problem that I see is that I'm just going to do offense and then I'll do defense, and then I'll talk about the betting for the Minnesota game.
Okay.
The offense itself, when you look at it, and it's funny because everybody, of course, bashes on Dak Prescott, but if you watch Kurt Warner's video, which is the 50-minute video that he just did, if you watch the one that he also did one last year, and if you watch both of them, the one thing that you take away, if you see the forest through the trees, the offensive coordinator,
but don't even do that to him. Let him have it. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Leave that alone.
But if you watch it and you listen to Kurt Warner, he starts off, even in this video, if you look at the title of his subject, he wants to talk about how Dak Prescott is not playing well. But as he discusses the 50-minute video, you start seeing him going into how the offensive game plan and how the offensive play calling and how the route running is not set up correctly. And that's all he complains about, and how we're using pure progression rather than reading half the side of the field and picking a side once we look at the defense. And if you just listen to it, you can see that we obviously have a problem. Now, it's been a problem for 5 years, and this is how Dak Prescott has been taught. So this is a problem that the only way we get out of this is you put a new coach in, or you have to just be subject to hoping that we play against a team that doesn't recognize what our issues are, which doesn't happen once we get into the playoffs.
Oh, no. We can go to nuclear route, or you get a new quarterback. I'm comfortable.
And then have the same problem all over again.
I'm comfortable with discussing that nuclear option, because I think that's the only way under this pairing that anything, is going to change. And you got to hope, right? You got to hope that quarterback can either come in and execute with, this system or overcome that. Like that's where we're at with it. But you're right, man. And I try to explain that throughout the week, that I don't know how many people actually sat and watched the 50 minutes. I watched about 45 minutes of it. And maybe next time I'll go and I'll dock it down. And how many times?
Watch the video before that one, the one that you made before that one. Where he goes off on
Kellen, right?
Listen
to me.
Kellen the whole time.
Watch how many times he says, "What are we doing here?" In regards to the concept. Seriously, in all seriousness, watch how many times he says, "I don't know what we're doing here. I would never XYZ." And then he'll get into maybe a read or whatever, and talk about the progression and whatnot. And I come away from that, and I'm like, I don't know how you're watching that, and you're coming away like, man, we got a quarterback problem.
Dak Prescott. Yep.
Don't know how you're watching that.
And I promise you, because I called your boy Law Nation at the beginning of the year, and I told him that I promise you, if they get rid of Dak Prescott, he's going to get a better offensive coordinator. And you're going to see what we actually have messed up on this entire time. But I'm off the offense. I'm done on the offense, because you don't score 28 points in a vacuum, and then a team that was allowed 15 points against the Detroit Lions all of a sudden scores 31 against it. So I'm done with that.
Michael Parsons said,
I'm done even letting it go.
Michael Parsons said yesterday, I promise you, if Dak and them give us a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter, we're not losing it again. But the conversation is about the quarterback. We need to win.
Exactly.
We need a win, bro. We need a win.
Yeah, and that also goes to show how I'm going to give you guys credit. I don't want to talk about this too long, but if you watch ESPN, which is what everybody's watching, and you watch Shannon Sharp, who actually went to bat for Dak Prescott, but if you watch like ESPN and everybody talk about, you can tell they don't watch the games. You can tell they don't watch the games because they don't talk about the routes, how they weren't running the correct routes on both of the interceptions. So you can tell they don't even watch the games. So I'm going to move on from that point. The defense. This is I'm going to say 5-year problem. When they played the playoffs, remember when they played the playoffs against the Rams, Todd Gurley ran up and down the field, and we couldn't do nothing to stop it?
Yeah,
It's been this way for the last every time we get into the playoffs. Every time we get into the playoffs, we can't stop the run. So now we come into last year where we played against the 49ers. Once again, we don't have any defensive tackles to be able to occupy the tackles to allow the middle linebackers to run to even see if they're good. I don't even know if our middle linebackers or outside linebackers are good or not because we don't have any defensive tackles to occupy the linebackers to give them free roam in their 4-3 defense or even their 3-4. So now we're this year, same thing. So we pick up Jonathan Hankins, who the Raiders have a bottom half run defense, and they got rid of Jonathan Hankins. We pick him up thinking that we're going to have a better run defense when he wasn't doing anything for the Raiders. The Eagles pick up.
Hold on.
The Eagles pick. Oh, go ahead.
You saying Jonathan Hankins hasn't been doing his job? Now I got to ask you, have you been watching?
I'm going to say Jonathan Hankins hasn't been doing his job because you're going to tell me they've been running on the C-gap all the games? That's the only way that they're getting their 270 yards?
I'm going to disagree with you there.
Okay.
This is Jonathan Hankins' second game. I urge you to watch Jonathan Hankins in both of the games. Mind you, Jonathan Hankins is not playing every single snap. Specifically against the Bears, when Hankins was in there, they averaged less than 3.5 yards per carry. When he wasn't in there, they averaged over 5. Against the Packers, their biggest runs, the biggest run that they had that wasn't on the outside was one run, A.J. Dillon, up the middle, and it was a missed tackle by the safety. But Hankins also, I don't believe, was in the game at that point. But yes, to answer your question, yes, your issues have been on the edge. Just go watch the beginning of the game against the Packers where they said, hey, I'll run up the middle. They just want to attack the edges. They did it like 4 times in a row, and you couldn't stop it. So, yeah, I do think your main issue against the run is defending the edges. And they are echoing that inside that locker room, and they're echoing that from the coaches. And I do think that Jonathan Hankins does help on the interior, but I don't think Jonathan Hankins is enough. I digress.
Okay. I won't disagree with you there. I'll just watch that, but I will say that my main point to that is, who do you think is an upgrade, Ndamukong Suh or Jonathan Hankins?
Hankins. Ndamukong
over Ndamukong Suh?
Yes, because Ndamukong Suh is more of a pass rush guy. Ndamukong Suh now he's strong and whatnot, but we're not counting on Ndamukong Suh to hold up against 2 double teams. Like, I mean, that's not his game. His game is to, if he's singled up, he's just going to manhandle your guy. If he can still do that at this stage, I'm not sure. But from a pure, 2-gapping, controlling the double team, give me Jonathan Hankins. But that's not.
I'm going to disagree, but I'm going to watch video before I disagree. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to watch video before I disagree. Last point is the bet. The bettors out there on the Vikings game. I actually picked the Cowboys to beat the Vikings too. And you know why? Because they're not expected to beat the Vikings. Because everybody thinks they're going to lose. Anytime we're the underdog, all of a sudden, and this goes back to my whole thesis, which my whole point was this, we always talk about how our talent needs to outplay the coaching. I will argue that the reason we go to the playoffs is because our talent does outplay our coaching.
Yes.
But our coaching can't take them any farther than that.
Hey.
So I think in this game, all of a sudden, we're going to play great.
You've been listening to me, huh?
I have not, but I like you, though.
I'm messing with you.
I like you, though.
I'm messing with you, man. You sound like what I've been saying for like a decade, bro. Since Tony Romo was here. But go ahead.
Yeah, but that's all. I just know that I almost know that the Cowboys are going to win this game. It's going to be foolish. Kirk Cousins going to get them interceptions like he always throws. We going to score like 35 points. We going to beat them. Then all of a sudden we going to be talking about Super Bowl again. So it's okay. I'm fine. But I realized through this, when you look at the forest through the trees, bro, the bottom line is we don't have the correct coaching in order to take us to a Super Bowl. I hate to say it, but it's always been this way for the last 20-some years since Jimmy Johnson. It's just the way it is. I mean, it's okay. I appreciate you, man. Keep doing what you do. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man. Good stuff. Great call.
Yep.
Great way to finish, because that's kind of how I've been echoing. How was that there? That's interesting. That's kind of how I've been what I've been saying for a while. I just don't think the Cowboys have had the coaching in the playoffs. And 9 times out of 10, and me and Jesse talk about this a lot, you're going to need your coaching to win you a couple games. And sometimes you're going to need him to do it in the playoffs. That just is what it is. It is what it is. All right, 267. Let's finish this thing off. What's goody?
Yeah, Will, whites and 304s, we do not do that in this establishment, sir.
We do not do that here. Maybe Vach does, but we do not do that here.
Is that what you guys were talking about when he
Yes.
muted?
Yes. We were. Yeah, well, I can't tell you what he said, but you were in there. You were in there. I ain't gonna tell you what he said. I ain't gonna do that. No.
So 1.2 quick questions that I listened to all phone and one joke to leave you before the weekend.
I love it.
So I think that they should start Kelvin Joseph over Anthony Brown, like going forward, because how much better in coverage is Anthony Brown than Kelvin Joseph? And I think Kelvin Joseph makes up for that differential with, one, his upside, and then two, his ability to tackle. And that's my point there. I just think they should go with Kelvin Joseph moving forward, to be honest with you.
Well, Kelvin hasn't done anything to give me a whole lot of confidence, man. I'm just, but you know, if you shake it up, give him a game, see how he does in that game, and then maybe move on. But I don't think he's doing enough to give the coaches confidence. So, I guess, but I can't sit here and fake the funk to you about Kelvin Joseph right now. I don't have a lot of confidence in him yet.
Yeah, I feel.
Just trying to parrot
then,
on TV.
The two questions I have.
Yeah.
Jason Peters moving to left tackle. Do you think that's more of a Connor thing or a Tyler thing? And then my second question is, if you were to divvy up the snaps between Davis, Pollard, and Elliott, how would you divvy them up?
Slow down. Let's start. Wait. You're doing too much because I ain't going to remember the first question. So the first question was, Jason Peters to left tackle, is it more of a Tyler or Connor?
Yeah, do you think it's more about, because Tyler's playing.
Right. I just want to know, did you say Tyler or you said Tyler or Connor? And I answered your question.
Yeah, do you think it's more like Connor McGovern underperforming?
No, I think it's.
Do you think that's what it's more about?
I think it's more about they're probably getting ready to prep Tyler Smith to go inside to guard when Tyron gets back, and then Jason Peters will be your left tackle.
Okay, got it.
All right, what was your second one?
And then Malik Davis, Tony Pollard, Ezekiel, how would you divvy up those snaps if you were the offensive coordinator?
About 16, 14, and then a little leftovers, I guess, to Malik Davis. However you want to, divvy up those 16 and 14. But as long as, like I say, as long as Tony Pollard is getting at least 15 touches.
Okay, gotcha. And then my joke is, you know what it is in PA with these winter times. Girls be out here dressing like it's summertime, saying, "Oh, I do this for myself." Will, have a nice weekend, sir.
Appreciate you, man. Women are weird when it comes to going out in these cold areas. Y'all don't give a damn about being cold. Y'all be out there with no coats, short dresses and whatnot, and it's 10 degrees outside. Y'all crazy. Y'all absolutely crazy. All right, man. I don't know. Somebody's trying to pair something to my TV. It's weird, man. But let's hit the super chats, I believe. I don't think I've gotten to any of them. My bad, y'all. I usually try to do them as we go. And then we'll get to the chat and be about it here. Super chats. All right. We got, of course,
super chat.
We don't wipe them 304s. Drop one. He said, Kellen has to spend less time on OnlyFans and more time in the film room. Kellen. Did I?
Super chat.
Okay, I think we good because that was yesterday. Toxicity. Who's in Toxicity? Our guy, Marcus Hardison. But that's funny. Kellen has to spend less time in OnlyFans. Yeah. Or if you listen to Queen, maybe he needs to spend more time in OnlyFans and just get it over with. So when he get out there, but we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. If you missed the 3 keys, here are my 3 keys to victory for Sunday, man. Travel digs on Jefferson. Jefferson is the 3rd most contested catch targeted receiver in the league. And if that's going to be the case, give me the guy that is most physical at the catch point and has the best ball skills on the team. That's Trayvon Diggs. Plus, he's your best corner on the team, period. So what are we talking about here? Just travel him and let it rock. And I think they're going to do that because McCarthy came out on the radio and was like, hey, what makes Trayvon Diggs, this, that, and this is that he can move around. Oh, interesting, because he wasn't really moving around, but I like to hear it. The other one is contain the edges. Dalvin Cook, he can get to the edge, and he's productive out there, averaging over 5 yards per carry, 306 yards, and they'll run it a lot out there. He has 20 first downs when he attacks the edges and 59 carries. So you have to set those edges, man. Get things to come back inside. That's where, when Bohanna was playing at his best, it was because, the defensive ends or the linebackers were forcing it back inside to Bohanna, and he was getting penetration. We got to get back to doing that. And then the final one, the most important one, I think, man, is to convert on third downs. The Minnesota Vikings defense is opportunistic. They have a good pass rush. But they're middling on third downs, and they're poor in the red zone. So if you convert on third downs and you're matriculating down the field, once you get in the red zone, you should be able to punch it in. Can't get into the red zone unless you convert on third downs or you just avoid them all in general, or all in general, right? You just don't get the third down. But it's not how football works. You're going to get the third down. Dallas has been, I was going to say one of the worst. No, it's been the worst third down year in the Dak Prescott era. So they got to fix that, man. So travel with Diggs, set the edges, and convert on third downs. And I think Dallas walks away with this victory, but it is not going to be easy, man. I've been saying this for weeks. This is a good team. This is a tested team. This is a team that has learned how to finish. It's got good pass rush, and they've got weapons on offense. So you go into Minnesota thinking it's going to be easy, you're wrong. This is going to be a tough one. Marcus said, I still don't understand how LVE is still starting. Him or Barr, get your young guys some reps. How else do you expect them to get better? At this point, will it hurt? The only reason why I'm hesitant on saying completely bench LV is because he has been good in pass coverage this year. Yes. Like, he's been where he needed to be. He understands it. He's moving with confidence to get to his spots. I'm not going to sit here and fake the funk in regards to LV on his pass coverage. I have no problems with him there, but I do have problems with him being a playmaker and being a guy that's, can be a tone setter or a thumper or just a good run defender. I don't think he's been a good run defender. I've seen people on Twitter, respected people, say, oh, LVE's been good. I disagree. I think he's been good pass linebacker, pass coverage linebacker, and a very average at best run defender. And I'm being nice. So maybe that's why they're not doing it. He is doing one thing at a high level, and he's obviously trusted. But again, see what happens if you give a guy more snaps. See if they can work through some things. And maybe it's not LV. Maybe it's Anthony Barr that you replace. So that's just me. He said, I struggled to say it. Right. He said the pass game is not our issue. It's not. That's why it's like, all right, yeah, he does well in the pass game, but I'm more concerned about the run defense. The replacement, in my opinion, would be Clark, not Cox. I would have Cox replace Barr, but I guess interchangeable, whatever, and see what happens. But man, let these young bucks run and see what happens, please. Please. Shaq, before we get up out of here, our Viking fan, our resident Vikings fan. Y'all know I don't do predictions. I do them on Sunday. Give me your prediction. You've been in here all year. You've been inside enemy territory all year. You know us better than probably any Vikings fan. Seriously. I want to know how you feel. Do the Cowboys walk away with this victory? Give me your prediction, man. Clark and Cox law firm at linebacker. Y'all can give me your predictions too, but y'all know me. On Sunday, I'll drop them. Did Shaq leave? Shaq gone. Oh, man. He out it. I'm gonna see him on Sunday, maybe. We'll see if we can get him back here on Sunday. But 28-18 says Dallas Cowboys hard hitter. 38-34 says C. Burleson. 28-15 Jameson. 28-17. Give me the drummer. Chris got 28-23. Cowboys win. Vikings had an emotional win. I feel like the NP, they've been having a bunch of them. 24-17. 28-21. 35-21 Dallas. Oh, God. Toxic. Come on. What is that? If y'all want to know our predictions, when I say ours, because I'm talking about me and my guy, Jesse, you're going to have to tune in to Game Day Live, man. That's where we're going to be at.
On the road to the Super Bowl. Every game on the schedule crucial, it take a toll. It don't matter if we at home or on the road. You try to tackle, I'll truck a sucker and take it so. I'm staring at 4th and goal, gotta find an open hole. A linebacker just close a hole where I'm supposed to go. So now I'm thinking my centers are all pro, so I trust he can make a wall for wherever the ball go. Yeah, there's 5 seconds on the play clock. The crowd was loud, but they stopped. Now it's silent while they watch. The standoff in the red zone. All I see is red home. Watch me get this touchdown and this W and head home.
Yes, sir. Check me out on Sunday, Game Day Live. Actually, not sure if we're going to be there or not, so y'all hold tight on that. Hit me up on Twitter if you need me to do that. But before we go, man, I forgot to pay this bill. Gotta pay the bills, man. This show brought to you by Boston Scientific, guys. In the U.S., more than 39 million men suffer from ED. Boston Scientific created edcure.org to help you find your best cure. To get started, go to edcure.org and take the quiz, learn your severity or risk of ED. And if you have a condition that puts you at higher risk, you'll find customized content. The fastest way and best way to cure is to contact an ED specialist by browsing a list of experienced physicians. Visit edcure.org, brought to you by Boston Scientific. Whew. Almost forgot, but we didn't. So with that said, now we're going to get up out of here. Again, I don't know if I'm going to be at Texas Live. We got some things we're figuring out there, but regardless, me and Jesse will be here on this channel and on Facebook for Game Day Live, teeing you up for the Minnesota Vikings game, where it's a Cowboys must win, in my opinion. This is one of those swing games. I'm going to bring that up on Sunday as well. So tune in, man. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Y'all have a good time. Be safe. It's Friday. Rejoice and have fun. We out of here. Yeah, I hate predictions. I'm with you, Shaq. But damn it, I want to know your prediction. Where's it at? Ooh, 28-17 Vikings. I'm using that against you. I'm going to hold it against you, Shaq. So now we out of here. Love y'all. Peace.